Welcome back to Uncle William Invests. Today, we need to have a serious talk about what is actually happening with your money in 2026. Because if you read the headlines, you'd think the sky is falling. But if you look at the raw data, a very different, very shocking story emerges. We're going to look at a brand new, massive 5-year financial study from Ramsey Solutions, and what they found is what I call the wealth paradox. Let's start with the hard truth. Right now, 54% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. More than half the country is one missed paycheck away from disaster. In fact, 34% of Americans, that is about 88 million adults, describe their current financial situation as struggling or in crisis. That is a massive 55% jump from just 5 years ago. People are stressed out. 53% of adults are worrying about money every single day, and 39% are literally losing sleep over it. But here's the paradox. Here's the plot twist they aren't telling you on the evening news. Despite all of this daily stress, 59% of Americans report that their net worth has actually increased over the last 5 years. Even crazier, 60% of people say they are better off financially today than they were 5 years ago. So, I have a question for you. How are millions of people getting richer while simultaneously feeling more broke than ever? Let's break it down. The answer to this paradox comes down to the daily squeeze. Long-term wealth like home equity and investments might be growing for many, but the day-to-day cost of keeping the lights on is draining people dry. The data shows that almost half of the country, 48%, is having difficulty just paying their basic monthly expenses. It is hitting renters incredibly hard, with 54% saying they struggle to make rent every single month. And when it comes to simply putting food on the table, 36% of Americans say providing food is a challenge. When your entire paycheck is eaten up by basic survival, you lose your safety net. The report found that 51% of all adults experienced an unexpected money emergency in the last 5 years. And if you are carrying consumer debt or have kids, that number shoots up to 63%. Listen to me, when you don't have a financial cushion, a $1,000 car repair isn't an inconvenience anymore. It is a catastrophic emergency that drives you deeper into the hole. But it doesn't have to be this way for you. You do not have to be part of the 54% living paycheck to paycheck. You can fight back, and interestingly enough, the younger generations are showing us exactly how to do it. If you are feeling the financial squeeze right now, you aren't alone. Especially if you're younger. But instead of giving up, younger generations are actually fighting back harder than anyone else. Gen Z is leading the charge on taking control of their money, with 53% now using a monthly budget, up from just 38% 5 years ago. They are also ditching credit cards faster than any other age group, dropping their reliance from 27% down to 20%. And millennials? They are having a massive mindset shift. 5 years ago, 71% of millennials believed that debt is just a normal part of life. But today, that number has plummeted to 49%. People are waking up, but Uncle William has a massive warning for you. Right now, total household debt in the U.S. is sitting at a staggering $18.8 trillion. And while Gen Z is budgeting better, they are also falling into a massive trap. 3 times as many Gen Zers are maxing out their credit cards compared to baby boomers, 30% versus 10%. You cannot build wealth if you are maxing out credit cards at 25% interest. You are just making the banks rich while keeping yourself broke. This brings us to one of the most dangerous trends I am seeing in 2026. Let's talk about your future. We all want to clock out for good, right? In fact, the desire to retire early has grown significantly over the last 5 years, jumping from 48% to 59%. People are tired. They want out of the rat race. But here's the brutal reality. While the desire to retire early is going up, the action required to get there is plummeting. The share of Americans who are actively investing for retirement has declined from 51% down to just 42%. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot desire an early retirement while simultaneously cutting your investment contributions because your budget feels tight. To bridge this gap, more and more people are realizing they need help, which is why the use of financial advisors has jumped 10 points to 45%. But at the end of the day, an advisor can only guide the money you actually save. Here at Uncle William Invests, we don't just look at the problems, we focus on the solutions. The biggest takeaway from this 2026 report is a truth I have been preaching for years. Winning with money is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. The outside forces, inflation, interest rates, politics, global instability, they are very real. But they are not the final word on your financial future. You are. Despite all the struggles we've talked about today, Americans are incredibly optimistic. 3/4 of U.S. adults, 74%, believe they will be better off financially 5 years from now. To be one of those people, you have to ignore the headlines and focus on what you can control. Beat the system. First, get on a strict monthly budget so you tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Second, attack your debt aggressively. Stop letting the bank steal your wealth. Third, build a solid emergency fund so the next crisis doesn't knock you down. And finally, stay committed to investing in your future. The people who come out ahead are the ones who commit to a plan and stick to it, no matter what the news says. If you are ready to take control of your wealth and stop living paycheck to paycheck, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below telling me your biggest financial goal this year, and I'll see you in the next video.